Cannabis has been around for a really long time, dating back thousands of years. It has many great uses, including using the hemp as material to make clothing, paper, rope, etc. Marijuana was legal for a while and was not really on anyone's radar until 1937 around the Prohibition. Now, a few good reasons that cannabis should be legal are because of its medicinal use, economic purposes, and employment opportunities. Marijuana sales would boost the economy, medicinal use would help people in a plethora of ways, and it brings thousands of new jobs for people of all backgrounds. Also, some of the tax revenue would be granted back to the communities by using the money to rebuild and fix up many impoverished communities, roads, welfare, parks, education funding, and many other things that would benefit anyone whether they partake or not. And I know the general consensus or the general census about marijuana is that it should be illegal because it is a drug. And I can understand why legalizing it could possibly send the wrong message to the youth that just because it is legal, that it is okay and safe to do without repercussions. However, just like with alcohol, when used in moderation and at an appropriate legal age, can be enjoyable when not abused. If marijuana was legal, then there's a possibility that many of non-violent people would have would have no criminal record if expunged, and many could possibly be let out of prison for simple offenses such as possession. Now, according to an article on the Center for American Progress, stated that California in 2018 passed a legislation quoted that requiring prosecutors to expunge certain marijuana-related convictions. And earlier this year, San Francisco District Attorney George Gascon partnered with Code for America, a technology solutions nonprofit, to automate the cumbersome expungement process, leading to the clearing of thousands of records. Our prisons are already overcrowded, and with COVID now being an issue in today's environment, our prisons are becoming more susceptible to spreading the virus. This would alleviate crowded prisons since it would no longer be punishable by law, therefore not only reducing the amount of people in prison, but helping to reduce the spread of COVID. Now let's look at marijuana and how it affects the economy. A framework to guide marketing and public policy research found that in 2016, Colorado made $200 million in tax revenue from the sale of marijuana. And the same authors found that in 2017, the American cannabis market was around $92 billion and was estimated to get to $47.3 billion by the year 2028, which was stated by Palici in 2018, quoted from the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration. As of November 16, 2020, California's cannabis excise tax generated $159.8 million in revenue, reported on the third quarter 2020 returns. November 2nd, 2020, and the cultivation tax generated was $41 million. Those are just a few sources of data that are out there showing tremendous growth in the economy, and millions, even billions of dollars come from just one state that legalizes it. Now imagine all 36 states that have already legalized marijuana and what their revenue would be together. Then think about when all 50 states have legalized marijuana and what their revenue would look like then. Another thing that would drive the economy would be people saving on medical expenses, which could happen with cheaper medical alternatives such as medical marijuana. I will acknowledge the fact that smoking is still not good for you or for your lungs, no matter what substance you are inhaling, and that cannabis has more tar in it than cigarettes. However, there are many alternative ways to consume marijuana than inhaling, and many reports of death and harm caused by cigarettes and alcohol use have been circulated around, and while marijuana has no reports of death caused by recreational use that I could find. Now, the public health concerns of marijuana legalization article by Zvonareva, Futaki, and Tregubenko said that the Colorado Bureau had reported a DUI tickets in the state dropped 16% from 2011, when originally at 26,146 the year before it was legalized, then down to 21,953 in 2016. And then an article titled Medical Cannabis, written by P.K. Hill, stated that as of January 2020, 33 states and the District of Columbia had put laws into place so physicians can certify the use of medical marijuana or medical cannabis for debilitating medical conditions. Although cannabis remains illegal federally, even though it is still illegal federally, the FDA has approved cannabinoid use in things such as efforts of nausea and vomiting from chemotherapy, helping to increase appetite for those who have HIV and other diseases, pediatric epilepsy, chronic pain, and multiple sclerosis. And an article published on Harvard by Peter Grinspoon also states that it can help with Parkinson's by reducing tremors, endometriosis, and Crohn's disease. And when you are healthy and feeling good, that naturally improves your quality of life. And this leads to my last point of employment. Having a job automatically improves the quality of life because you have money to obtain the necessary things for survival. And the Center for American Progress found that many people are unemployed or have a hard time finding jobs with past charges involving marijuana. With the legalization of the drug, I can understand why people may think crime rates may go up now that weed has been circulating in their communities. They may believe some would become unproductive and the usage rate would rise, causing more people to be on welfare and not working, getting into a vicious cycle of unproductivity and relying on living on the state. According to an article written in 2019 called The Public Health Concerns of Marijuana, an overview of current trends, said that the rate of marijuana consumption had drastically reduced among teenagers, while the number of older teenagers consuming marijuana remained stable. Legalizing would increase the education of the youth they would have on cannabis and would help many not misuse it easily. And then an article written in 2019 on the Center of American Progress found that California's tax revenue generated from its regulated cannabis market created $345 million. And this same article suggests that in 2018, they could have created 10,000 employment opportunities among the poorer communities. The authors believe the federal government should use this model and take the tax revenue from marijuana businesses as they said exactly and said to re-grant it to the states to create jobs in communities that have been historically and adversely affected by the harsh marijuana enforcement laws. Now let's not also forget the proof in the thousands of new jobs created in the states that have legalized cannabis already, not only for the store employees but for advertisers, botanists, marketers, scientists, and many other various jobs that have been created from the cannabis industry. So with everything going on in your mind right now, just considering both sides before you decide whether it is illegal or not, or should be. As I said earlier, the economy, medicinal use, and employment opportunities are just a few of the many reasons marijuana should be legal. Sales would boost the economy, medicinal use would help people in many ways and bring thousands of new jobs to people of all backgrounds. Also, some of the tax revenue would be granted back to the communities by using the money to rebuild and fix up many impoverished neighborhoods, roads, parks, welfare, education funding, and many other benefits whether you partake or not. Not even mentioning the justice system, violence, and incarceration rates that would change. Cannabis has many purposes that should be thought of when considering the legalization of it, so when you go to vote next time and you have it on the ballot, think about all the good it could do for many people, even possibly you.